Supported employment for persons with intellectual disabilities is a growing initiative across Saskatchewan. It is a model of employment that has been gaining support among the private and public sector business communities. Saskatchewan Highways and Transportation and Saskatchewan Community Resources and Employment are two government branches that have successfully employed persons with intellectual disabilities using the supported employment model. With supports, it can work.
The reason why it was started was because there was a need for someone to help out the mechanics. We realized the need for help from the mechanics and from our shops to either clean the floors or wash the equipment down and getting the equipment ready for repair. The key players in the beginning was the Saskatchewan Association for Community Living, the Public Service Commission, the Saskatchewan Government Employees Union, and ourselves, the Department of Highways.
The partnership developed initially out of a relationship that one of our staff had in terms of a community relationship that they had with someone in the Department of Highways. And it created an opportunity for us to employ someone with an intellectual disability in their workforce.
Yorkton was the first place where we hired someone with an intellectual disability. We realized right from the start that it wouldn't work if the employees weren't part of the solution. So we had someone from the Saskatchewan Association for Community Living come in and explain what it would be like to hire someone with an intellectual disability.
There was quite a few barriers around education of staff. At times we were faced with having to educate the union, the members, the management, the community, all around the whole issue of why a person with an intellectual disability should be allowed to perform a job that is already being done by an existing staff person.
Actually getting the buy-in in the shops, I thought it would just be a natural thing. Everybody would say, yes, we want to do it. And it wasn't quite that simple, and it wasn't that the people were against it, but it took longer to convince people that they could have somebody with this type of disability working in the shop and working safely.
As far as occupational health and safety is concerned, we're working in an environment where we have cutting torches, we have tools, we have impact wrenches. Do they have to babysit this person? Do they have to watch what this person's doing every step of the way? Is it going to interfere with the job that I'm doing? The Saskatchewan Association for Community Living told us what we could expect with a person with an intellectual disability, that they will comply to safety rules. They're no different than us. They have to be told just like we have to be told, and the employees felt comfortable with what they could expect with that person.
Well, myself personally, I thought it would be interesting to try and see, and if it didn't work, it didn't work. But as far as as I'm concerned, it's worked really well. He gets along good with everyone, and we all have a lot of fun, and seems to be working fine. He does the jobs that he does a good job.
The most important thing was to make sure that we had consensus in the workplace before bringing these people in. We knew that if there was problems with other employees in there, that the end result probably would be that the program would fail. So we knew that we had to take our time and make sure all the concerns were addressed as we were doing it. At the same time, we had to be persistent in that we were going to do this. It wasn't that we weren't going to do it, but we had to make sure we took the necessary time to talk to employees, bring in an association of community living, to talk to the people, talk to the Public Service Commission about what we were doing, and to make sure everybody was keeping up to us anyways as we brought these people on stream.
What we did is we got all the parties involved, we sat down with them and we said, okay, what do we have to do to make this work? The Public Service Commission felt that we needed a letter of understanding. The union also felt that we should have a letter of understanding. We needed to have something documented that would be allowed for the person to work for us. It took a couple of years for the letter to happen. The letter of understanding looked at things like job security, the rate of pay, hours of work, the type of work that the person's going to be doing in our shops. It looked at everything, including how we were going to pay for overtime, how we were going to include increments, how discipline was going to happen, how the partnership was going to work between the Saskatchewan Association for Community Living and ourselves.
Following the signing of the letter of understanding, I went into the locations throughout the province and worked with the existing staff and walked them through some exercises which taught them what it was like to have an intellectual disability. And from that, what we did is we problem solved as to how can we give job descriptions or job duties to a person so that they understand, and we developed strategies for making it work.
Hiring a new person in any work situation creates challenges to be overcome. Not only does the new employee need to fit in with other staff, but they also must be the right person to fit the job.
The Association for Community Living was used to recruit people into the workplace. They were the ones that did the initial screening.
Each location is very different in the tasks that are assigned to the individual, and so we need to certainly find the right person to do the right tasks.
Susan, she's the one that got Kevin the job. And I'm very happy she stuck her neck out, got her foot in the door, and she told me, we're going to give it a try, you know. And when she said Kevin's hired, I was very, very happy, you know.
When Kevin came in, the employees were on side. They agreed to having Kevin work for us. He did have to have a job coach working for him. That took a couple of months, and once he knew what he had to do, he's been doing fine. He's been doing great work for us.
The job coach taught me how to sweep the floors and put pressure on the broom. Sweep all around, move stuff around, all the benches, and move stuff back where they belong.
Initially, we would go in and walk through the location with the individual with an intellectual disability, make sure they understood what their roles are, where their workstation was, and then in some situations, we were required to bring in a job coach on a longer-term basis if the individual was having a particular problem with one task.
You need a job coach because they got to tell you what all the jobs that they got to do with highways. Like they show you, they help you if they clean the bays. They help you they write all down the jobs you do and how you're doing at them, and then learn you how to respect them and have a self-esteem and discipline.
Lawrence working here is good for everybody. He always wants to help out, so it's good for everybody. You take a little bit of time, show him what you want done, and he'll do it exactly that way after that. You don't have to worry about him. So.
People with intellectual disabilities like to work and are just as effective in their jobs as other employees. They are keen to learn and take pride in what they can accomplish. They also enjoy being part of the work team environment.
I like the people who I work with. They're all a bunch of good guys, and they all help me if I need something. They're there for me. They're showing me little tips and how to do this a little easier, and working with tractors and broom tractors and different things I never thought. I thought it'd be just washing, doing my jobs, washing and sweeping, but then they got me working with them on trucks. And I'm learning more every day, working with the guys. They're showing me different things. The bosses let me do stuff.
Clinton has really matured a lot, and you could tell over time that he can handle more. And I think that's great for him.
I think his self-confidence has really risen. He's, tried different things. He even took some welding, and, he's always willing to learn something. So I think it's been great.
I seen his self-esteem improved, and he's more like he feels better about himself, and he likes his job very much. My concern was him going to work every day, if he was on work on time, and he has to walk to work, and the weather and everything. So, that's where my big worry was.
One of the issues that we faced and had to deal with was around the issue of transportation. Some of the fleet service shops are in locations on the outskirts of town, or in some cases the individual just lives out of town themselves and needs to get back into the town. And so transportation was a big issue that we had to deal with.
Well, it's about everybody drives you to work once in the wintertime. This is about every guy who works on the crew that drives you to work once in a while.
Kevin lives about a half an hour out of Prince Albert, and he catches a ride to work in with one of his neighbors in Holbein. And then at the end of the day, his neighbor comes out to the shop here and picks him up, and that's how Kevin gets back and forth to work every day.
When I got a check, I was glad to buy a vehicle, and I'm happy to have a vehicle, and I know what I'm putting money into, and it feels good to have a check that I worked for, and it was hardworking, and I love it.
I thought he'd be in welfare all his life, but since like the highways got this, I don't know, they're great people. They can, you know, at least they're giving him a chance.
Supported employment offers people with intellectual disabilities the opportunity to earn wages so that they can completely or partially support themselves. It also provides opportunities for them to develop their skills, abilities, and fulfill their aspirations. With participation and commitment from everyone, at every level, successful employment outcomes can be achieved. The partnership between Saskatchewan Highways and Transportation, SGEU, the Saskatchewan Public Service Commission, and the Saskatchewan Association for Community Living is only one example where supported employment has overcome many challenges to succeed. Valley View Laundry Services in Moose Jaw is another example where supported employment with government has also been successful.
The way the program came about was an agreement between the Public Service Commission and CUPE and the Valley View Centre. What I think contributed mostly to the formation of the Laundry Worker Assistant Program was a convergence of needs. The Moose Jaw Thunder Creek Health District was looking for someone to do their laundry. Valley View Centre wanted to expand their laundry services, and the Department of Social Services was looking for meaningful work for several of their clients. The letter of understanding that exists with the CUPE union allows for these individuals that have intellectual disabilities to work in a laundry services setting out of the scope of the agreement. So basically they are out-of-scope employees, but they are governed by the same rules that the rest of the employees are. It allows for them to basically work the same hours and enjoy most of the same benefits that the rest of the staff do. The people are paid a wage that is better than minimum wage, and it's reviewed on an annual basis so that it allows for incremental raises during the course of their employment. Having individuals with intellectual disabilities working in the laundry services department, I think, has opened a lot of eyes. Not so much what they're not capable of doing, but what they are capable of doing.
They do tremendous work. They deliver laundry. They assist on the machines. They prepare the laundry before you put it through the machines. In fact, they probably do 20 different jobs in a day, and they'll stop doing one, start doing another, and then go back to that job, take another job, and then go back to that other job again. So they're really diverse in what they do. They're always just going from one thing to the next and taking orders from all the staff, and they follow them so well. That's the amazing part.
I feel really great working here because I've learned a lot of stuff and be more independent. And every time I learn something new at Valley View, I come home and I have a great attitude. And I'm like, it's like, wow, I learned something new today. You know, I was impressed learning the ironer, and it just makes me want to do more.
It makes me feel that I've accomplished a big need, and it makes the other co-workers look as if to say, there's a hard worker right there.
I would have to say, if you hired people with intellectual disabilities, that they would be a benefit to any company or any business. Because when you don't have time to do the little things, they do. They are so beneficial. When we don't have them in our department, everybody complains that they're not there. We need them to survive. Plain and simple, in our business, we need them.
If there were another department of the government or any institution or facility that would be interested in instituting a program of this nature, I would wholeheartedly support them doing that. I would encourage them to take any opportunity they could to set something up that would allow clients with intellectual disabilities to work there. They have so much to offer and so much to give that they would be denying themselves an opportunity if they didn't do that.
For people with intellectual disabilities to be represented in all aspects of the labor market, employers and supported employment agencies need to persevere to make it happen. Producing change in the work environment requires a willingness to take risks and follow them through. There needs to be initiative, teamwork, and dedication. It is an effort worth making for everyone.
The whole partnership and bringing these people in has been a real boost for morale in the shops, and these people are part of the shop environment in there now, and they're accepted, and it would be a real struggle if somebody wanted to remove them now, so we're really happy with the partnership.
This partnership certainly could be replicated in other areas of the public service in Saskatchewan, and I think in terms of ensuring that our workforce is representative of what our population is, speaks to the importance of doing that.
Our workforce is just simply stronger. We're better at delivering our mandate if we are able to recruit from all of society. We work for society, we work for everybody out there, and we really need to have all of those people included in our workforce, or we'll never be the best that we can be.
There's always room for somebody in there to help do the little things around the shop, around the office, around the shop that don't get done. And it's a matter of commitment by the union and by the employer more than a lack of need or a lack of availability for placements for these people.
There's only a few kids working, and there should be more kids working. Then more jobs provided for the kids.
I think we have to learn to do some things differently because of the nature of the jobs that we'll be creating. I would like to think in our department, if the work that Highways had done or Social Service had never happened, that we would get there. The fact that Highways and Transportation and Social Services have already put together a letter of understanding with the union has broken a lot of ground for us. They have created a very good model for us to follow, and I don't think there's much reason to deviate from it too far. It's really just a question for us of just getting started on it.
You have to be committed to the project. You have to want this to happen, and you have to involve everyone, including the employees, SGU, if you have a union, everyone involved. The more inclusive you can be with getting people involved with hiring a person with an intellectual disability, the better. There are no secrets in how you're going to do this, and what you need to do is involve everyone.
The advice that I would give another organization who is thinking about entering into a partnership would be that, one, they would need to be prepared for the time that it's going to take. They need to have a strong understanding of why they want to do this. They need to be able to pull together individuals that are going to support them from the employer's perspective, and then just sit down and work together as a team. It doesn't help to do it individually. You're going to need a team approach to this.
The one thing that we learned from this is that if you're going to be successful, it's worthwhile to spend the time at the front end. Use some of your resources at the front end to make it successful, rather than going into it and then having to use your resources to react to problems once they're into the workplace. You do it at the front end. Get the buy-in, and try to get as many of the problems concerned and addressed up front, so that when they do come into the workplace, it will be successful.
It's a little frustrating at first, working in a new place in a big environment with a big government and a lot of people from different areas. But it's a challenge, and if I can do it, anybody can do it. It's one big challenge, and I did it, and I love it.
There are still challenges that we face, but it's worthwhile doing.